And shalom, everyone. I'd like to welcome everyone to King James Bible University. I'm your host for today, Elder Martin, and I appreciate everyone that's joining with us today as we go through this lesson. I wanted to make a quick announcement right quick while we at it. Sorry about that. If any of the brothers out there that's desiring to teach, I'm talking about the brothers at the King James Bible University, not just no random person. If any of the brothers out there desiring to teach, or they have a teaching that they want to go forth on Sundays, you can submit your teachings to Elder Lynn, Elder Carlos, or myself through email, preferably by Thursdays, no later than 3:30 p.m. Central Time. Also keep this in mind, there are certain guidelines that we must adhere to, making sure the teachings are one, precise and in line with King James Bible University standards. What are those standards? Just a brief one. You basically want to make sure that we are educating the attendees so that they can get a clear understanding and able to apply these examples in your teachings to their daily walk. So definitely want to make that announcement. Give me 1 second, y'all. I'm trying to clear something out. Almost got it. All right, good. All right, so today I'll be starting a 6-part series for Ezekiel, chapter 37, verse 1 through 28, which is titled the Dry Bone Series. This is a series on what many of us once were and many still are today. Through this series, right, we'll be figuring out, how do one become dry bones. Also, as we go, down through it, we'll be trying to figure out what can be done to help not just ourselves but others in identifying what should be done so that none of us remain in these conditions that we can actually do something about. So we'll be go ahead and get ready to get started with this. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my Bibles up. So there we go. All right. So in this first part of this first lesson that we have going today, I'm gonna probably I am going to be giving out more information on this part as we go through it. So everybody will basically have the same understanding and nobody can get lost. So we'll be just taking this ride together. So if I'm moving slow, y'all move slow with me. So we're gonna just run it like that, and hopefully everything will be good, and we'll get ready to go through it. So hopefully everybody have their papers, their pens, their recording devices as we go through it. So the first 2 verses, we'll be going through 2 verses today in Ezekiel chapter 37. We'll be doing verse 1 and 2. So we'll start off with that, and then we'll just go down through it. All right, so I'll go ahead and highlight that. All right, it says, the hand of the Spirit of God was upon me and carried me out in the Spirit of God and set me down in the midst of the valley, which was full of bone. Verse 2. And caused me to pass by them round about. And behold, there were very many in the open valley, and lo, they were very dry. So we see the first two verses So now, as we comb through it to try to figure out what was going on, what was this vision that Ezekiel was seeing? I'm gonna say this right quick because I know when we early on when we were doing the kids program, and everybody was speaking who their favorite prophets and people of the Bible, and I told them mine was Ezekiel. I definitely like going through Ezekiel because he has a lot of stuff to really try to comb through and figure out. So it's a prophet that I hold, up there as one of the prophets that I inspire to be like. So so what we'll do is I tell you what, before we get started, right? Before we even get in it, we're gonna do a little exercise, and I want everybody to kind of participate in it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna all close our eyes, right? And it's still a part of the teaching, but I just want y'all to play along with me. Just close your eyes and imagine, right? All of us just walking in a grassy plain on a journey. And then we come to a particular place in our journey. And as we going through this terrain, suddenly, we basically we stop and we look down at a certain place. And this place has many luxurious places there, places to shop, all types of restaurants, cars everywhere, Bugattis, Lamborghinis, Rolls Royce, you name it. This is a high end. Yeah, it's high end to the fullest, right? And they even got places to worship, like church buildings. Anything that you aspire to be like is basically at this place. Whatever God that you decide to worship, he's in this place. So, and now we see in all of this stuff, and the crazy thing about it, we don't see any people. We just see dried up bones belonging to people, right? So with that, now y'all can open your eyes up and we can try to see if we can see exactly what this may look like or what might have happened. So let's look at before we actually start to get off into it, let's go to Matthew right quick. We'll do Matthew 16 and we'll do verse 26. It says, "For what is a man profited if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul?" So as we sit back and think about this, what we just imagined, this vision that we went over, or the vision that Ezekiel seen, and then as we think about Matthew 16:26, "For what is a man profited if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul?" So with that scripture, I would say, I wonder, is this what happened? So we're going to go ahead and get ready to get started. So I want to ask everybody out there just a quick question. Do any of you all, right, like the shows on TV like Unsolved Mystery or detective shows where they investigate crimes? I give y'all a minute to answer that. Do any of you all like unsolved mysteries or detective shows where they investigate crimes? And I know a lot of y'all probably like them, and I know y'all won't admit, but some of y'all probably don't get it right. Y'all probably guess wrong, but don't worry about it. But I just want to know if y'all like them. All right. Guess what? we're about to do the same thing. We are about to investigate these bones to see if this is what we think it is, or is it something else. So we're going to go ahead and get started. And what we're going to do, right, we're going to create a crime scene. And we're going to pick out certain things, and we're going to investigate them, right, with the scriptures. And that's going to help us while we comb through the scripture. We're going to be looking for evidence. So, but we all got to participate in this together. So make sure you, like I said, have your papers, your pencils, recording devices. So we're going to try to figure out this crime scene, these dry bones that's down here in this luxury place. So we can go ahead and get started. So let's put on our spiritual investigation gear, or spiritual investigative gear, and let's get to work on solving the mystery of these dry bones. So like I said, we're going to rely on the documentation that we all know is true. It has no private interpretation or anything that would hinder this investigation we about to do. So the only document that we need to solve this crime scene, if that's what it is the Word of God. So let's get to it. I'm going to highlight this. Hold on. So what we're going to do is, the first thing we're going to do while we're investigating, we're going to look at the scriptures, and we're going to start pulling out certain keywords that I know that'll help us out in solving this crime, I guess. Can't say it, but we'll see. So we're going to do valley. I do that one yellow. We're going to do bones, green. We'll do dry. We'll make that one pink. So we got these three key words that'll help us out as we go through it. So what we're going to do, we're going to look at valley. So a lot of people already tell me that I do talk slow and too relaxed. Hey, I ain't never been one to do a lot of talking or a lot of speaking or anything. I always been, just laid back and just a listener. So y'all bear with me, but I'm gonna take my time with this. So the first key word, and I want to make sure y'all writing it down so we can get through it together, is valley. What is a valley? A valley is a place of worship that we or others consider truth, or it can be a worship grove. A worship grove. What is a worship grove? Worship grove are things or places you have respect to, good or bad. Keep that in mind, good or bad. So we got valley. Now we'll hit bones. Bones can be a kindred. It could be the framework, or it can be the framework of someone, the foundation or the strength of someone. Now, listen carefully. Bones spiritually of the Most High. Now we know he don't have physical bones because he's a spirit. So his bones are his strength, foundation on what all of us supposed to be following is his laws, statute, commandment, covenant. But we're going to revisit that later. And then we'll hit dry. Dry is famished, no knowledge, or no counsel of the truth. So we'll go ahead. We'll start off with the valley. And we'll start to dig on that one. So like I said, we know what the valley is. Place of worship that we or others hold as truth, or a worship grove, which, people have respect to. And then, like I said, also in the wilderness, that can be a worship grove, because a lot of people, well, we know the wilderness have many evil desires. It can be a valley also, because many of us worship flesh also. So just think about all these things that you can plug in. So we're going to look at Psalms. Do Psalms 23 and verse 4. It's already highlighted. Okay, it says, "Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death." They walk through the valley, his place of worship, of the shadow of death. I would fear no evil. I would desire no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. So we see, we walk through the valley, a place of worship, of the shadow of the death, of a shadow of death. So the shadow of death, while we at the verse, we might as well talk about that. It's a place of darkness with no understanding now. Like I said, it could be the wilderness or the ways of your flesh, that shadow of the death. So we know it's obscure and the truth is hidden from it. Ain't no truth in flesh. Let's look at this one right quick while we got Psalms pulled up. We'll hit Psalms 44. And 19. Okay. It says, "Though thou hast sore broken us in the place of dragons," right, "and covered us with the shadow of death." So we can see we're all in a place of dragons. We know that for a fact, and are covered with the shadow of death. So keep that one in mind. Let's go to Jeremiah, and we'll just keep pushing home the point. So when we do our investigation, when we finish with each of these three words, we should know what they are, how they moving, and then it'll help us out even now and later. So let's hit Jeremiah, and we'll do 2. And we'll go 23 through 29. It say, "How canst thou say, I am not polluted? I have not gone after Balaam. See thy way in the valley, in this place of worship. Know what thou hast done. Thou art a swift dromedary, traversing her ways, a wild ass used to the wilderness, that snuffed up the wind at her pleasure. In her occasion, who can turn her away? All they that seek her will not weary themselves. In her mouth they shall find her. Withhold thy foot from being unshod, and thy throat from thirst. But thou saidest, there is no hope. No, for I have loved strangers, and after them will I go. As the thief is ashamed when he is found, so is the house of Israel ashamed. They, their kings, their princes, and their priests, and their prophets, saying to a stock, Thou art my father, and to a stone, Thou hast brought me forth. For they, let me highlight that. We're going down to 29. For they turned their back unto me, and not their face. But in the time of their trouble, they will say, Arise and save us. But where are thy gods that thou hast made thee? Let them arise, if they can save thee in the time of thy trouble. For according to the number of thy cities are thy gods, O Judah. Wherefore will ye plead with me? Ye have all transgressed against me, says the Spirit of God. So we can see that the Most High is just letting us know what we've done. The foolishness, the being ignorant. We just basically have forsaken our God, and we did this in the valley, in this wilderness, in church buildings, and places of worship that we hold is true. So we'll hit another one. Judges. We'll do 1 and 19. It say, and the Spirit of God was with Judah, and he drave out the inhabitants of the mountain, but could not drive out the inhabitants of these worship places, because they had chariots of iron. So we can see we got a lot of people that's in these worship places. Their heart is hardened, and it's going to be hard to drive them out from the belief that they hold to. So let's keep that in mind. But we're going to, since we know we got the worship groves kind of in combination with the valley, we're going to look at the worship groves right quick. Let's go to 1 Kings. And we'll do 14. Okay, 14. And we'll do verse 15. It say, for the Spirit of God shall smite Israel as a reed is shaken in the water, and he shall root up Israel out of this good land which he gave to their fathers. And shall scatter them beyond the river. Why? Because they have made their groves, their places of worship that they hold respect to, provoking the Spirit of God to anger. So we see how that grove moving. We're going to look at another one. Let's look at Exodus. I want to make sure when we finish, we're going to know what the worship groves, the valley, and we're going to take care of all three of these words. So when we done, we should be able to move through the lesson pretty smooth. So we got Exodus. We'll do 34. And we'll do 12 through, we'll do 14. It says, take heed to thyself, lest thou make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land whither thou goest. Lest it be for a snare in the midst of thee. But ye shall destroy their altars, break their images, and cut down their groves, the stuff they have respect to, the places that they worship. For thou shalt worship no other God, idol. For the Spirit of God, whose way is jealous, is a jealous God. So you see, those groves is what others have respect to, but we take it on also. So this should help us out with the valley. Matter of fact, I know I said that worship grove can be good or bad, so let's look at the good side of it right quick. Let's go to Genesis. And we'll do 21. And we'll do 33. This should show you the good side of it. It say, And Abraham planted a grove, a worship place that he had respect to, in Beersheba, and called there on the way of the Spirit of God, the everlasting God. So we see Abraham planted a worship place, and these are a group of like-minded followers that was all on the same wavelength as Abraham. So the next one we'll hit is dry. So as we know, dry, no knowledge, famished, or no counsel of the truth. So let's hit Genesis. We'll do Genesis 7 do 18. It say, and the waters prevail and were increased greatly upon the earth, and the ark went up upon the face of the waters, and the waters prevail exceedingly upon the earth, and all the high hills that were under the whole heaven were covered. 15 cubits upward did the waters prevail, and the mountains were covered, and all flesh died that moved upon the earth, both of fowl and of cattle and of beasts and of every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. Go to 20. Okay, got it. It say, and all in whose nostrils was the breath of life of all that was in dry land died. So we can see what this actually showing is those who held to the ways of the earth or the ways of flesh did not, and then take on the ways of JEHOVAH. His spirit wasn't there, so it made them dry, so they were spiritually dead. So that's showing the dryness in it. All right, let's go to Job. And we'll hit 12. And we'll do 15. It say, behold, remember, he withholdeth the waters, right? And they dry up. Also, he sendeth them out, and they overturn the earth. So we see right here, if he withhold the knowledge, they dry up. So they basically have no knowledge. They famish. So with that, the knowledge of JEHOVAH, we all dry up, becoming famished, and we just basically corpses. So we'll hit one more for the dry, and hopefully y'all can see how dry is moving. So let's go to Isaiah. We'll do Isaiah 5, and we'll do 11 to 13. It say, woe unto them that rise up early in the morning, that they may follow strong drink, that continue unto night, till wine inflame them, and the harp, and the viol, the tabret, and pipe, and wine are in the feast, but they regard not the work of the Spirit of God, neither consider the operations of his hands, of his power. Therefore, my people are gone into captivity, because they have no knowledge. And let me highlight this. Their honorable men are famished, and their multitude dried up with thirst. So we see we actually are in bondage, because like you said, we like the strong drink of all these different doctrines, not even considering who the Most High God of Israel. So we got dry out the way. So y'all tell me what y'all think. I guess the question is, hopefully y'all still following along with me, because it still is an investigation. So we gonna keep rolling. So now we come to bones. So we know if y'all got it wrote down, but somebody just coming in, we'll just hit bones one more time. It's a kindred, foundation, or strength. We can look at it like, just say for instance, if you got they be having in them doctors' office like a skeleton. You can look at that skeleton as the foundation. So, and then we would need our organs, whatever else, the heart, all of that, to basically make this skeleton become an actual person. So the skeleton is the foundation. Then, along with like other little elements, do we build a person? But this that we saw where in our vision in the valley, when we did when we was imagining with our vision, what we would have actually saw in the valley were just bones. So if you're thinking about those bones, then it's almost like the foundation is cracked. It's basically just hopeless. So we're going to hit bones and kind of get an idea on it. So let's hit Genesis. We'll do 2 and 23. Well, you know what? Let's start at 22 and then we'll go to 23. It's matter of fact, let me do 21 also so you can drive it a little better. It's and the Spirit of God caused, let me highlight this, caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, both of them, and he slept. And he, the Most High, took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh instead. He replaced thereof, and the rib which the Spirit of God had taken from man made he a woman and brought her unto the man. And Adam said, this is now bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man. So we see with this verse, right? And I just want to kind of say this a little slow so y'all can catch it. Although this was a spirit placed in man, it's still signifying that this is a kindred spirit that he placed in them, which should not be separated. So, and we have to look at, we are Jehovah's kindred, and we all attached by his laws, his statutes, his commandments, and his covenant. That's the bone of the bone. So we'll look at it. Let's go to Judith. And we'll hit 16. And we'll do 17. It woe to the nations that rise up against my kindred. The Creator Almighty will take vengeance of them in the day of judgment, in putting fire and worms, let me highlight it, in their flesh, and they shall feel them and weep forever. So we see that these plagues will be to those who cause harm to the kindred, those that walking in the ways of JEHOVAH. He will take vengeance on them evildoers. So just keep that in mind And remember this, that kindred is, like I say, is the ones that have that spirit of JEHOVAH in them. As those are the true followers of Christ. So you are kindred by spirit when you're looking at it that way. So let's hit Genesis, because we're going to pull it as far as the men, well, we'll say the man and the woman now. So we'll pull a few of them so we can show it from that point of view. So let's do Genesis. We'll hit Genesis 29 and we'll hit 13. It say, and it came to pass when Laban heard the tidings of Jacob, his sister's son, that he ran to meet him and embraced him and kissed him. I mean, he joined to him and brought him to his house, and he told Laban all these things. And Laban said to him, surely thou art my bone and my flesh, a kindred. And he abode with him the space of a month. So it's just basically showing, because we know Laban was Jacob's uncle, who is his bone and his flesh, meaning it's his kindred. We'll pull another one. Let's go to 2 Samuel. We'll hit. And we'll do 5. We'll do 1. It say, then came all the tribes of Israel to David unto Hebron, and spake, saying, behold, remember, we are thy bone and thy flesh. So all the tribes of Israel were letting him know that they are his kindred. Why? Because of Jacob. So Jacob had 12 sons. So all the tribes letting David know that they are his kindred. So let's go. I got another one we can hit right quick, and then we'll finish that out and start to go through it. We'll hit Job. Job. We'll do 2, and we'll do 4, 5. And Satan answered the Spirit of God and said, skin for skin, yea, all that a man have will he give for his life. Verse 5. But put forth thy hand now and touch his bone and his flesh. Yeah, touch his kindred, and he will curse thee to thy face. And the Spirit of God says, Satan, remember, he is in thy hand, but save his life. So Satan saying, touch that kindred, the ones that he do the sacrificing for. You know, you see how much he care about them. So if you touch that bone and that flesh, he gonna curse you to your face. So we see that. And as I said, you know, you can see that that Job is well, you, like I said, through the bone, you can see in Genesis that the bones are the strength of the kindred. So we can look at that right quick in Genesis, and we'll do Genesis 49. Genesis 49 and 3. It say, Reuben, thou art my firstborn, my might, and the beginning of my strength, the excellency of dignity, and the excellency of power. So showing that the kindred, Reuben, his son, is his strength. So the bone, the kindred, is the strength. So now we got all of these out the way. Hold on. So now we have all of these 3 keywords out the way. We got the valley, the dry, the bone. So now the question that will remain when we look over everything we've saw, what can cause this to happen to these people that we saw in the valley, these bones. So it's a lot of evidence that we can comb through in, like I said, the sacred text, and it's going to help us out. So now me looking through the documentation in the Bible, I found some stuff that actually stood out, and actually we can start to show why the crime scene actually looked the way it looked. So what we're going to do, we're going to go to Exodus. We'll do 19 and we'll do 5. It say, now, therefore, if you will obey my voice indeed and keep my covenant, then ye shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people, for all the earth is mine. Then we'll hit Deuteronomy. And we'll go to 12. Deuteronomy 12. And we'll hit 28. And we'll take it down to 32. Alright, it says, observe and hear all these words which I command thee, that it may go well with thee, and we'll go down to 32. With thy children after thee forever, when thou doest that which is good and right in the sight of the Spirit of thy God. When the Spirit of God thy God shall cut off the nations from before thee, whither thou goest to possess them, and thou succeedest them, and dwellest in their land. Take heed to thyself, that thou be not snared by following them, after that they be destroyed from before thee, and that thou inquire not after their gods, saying, how did these nations serve their gods? Even so will I do likewise. Thou shalt not do so unto the Spirit of God thy God, for every abomination to the Spirit of God which he hateth have they done unto their gods. For even their sons and their daughters they have burnt in the fire to their gods. What thing soever I command you, observe to do it. Thou shalt not add thereto nor diminish from it. And now we'll hit one other one. So we know we have to go to the law to show what's required of us. So let's hit, matter of fact, I'm right there. So let's hit Deuteronomy 10. Do 12 and 13. It's a Deuteronomy 10, 12, and 13. It says, now Israel, what does the Spirit of God, thy God, require of thee? But to fear, meaning to desire the Spirit of God, thy God, to walk in all his ways, and to love him, promise him, and to serve the Spirit of God, thy God, with all thy heart and with all thy soul. Verse 13. To keep the commandments of the Spirit of God and his statutes, which I command thee this day for thy good. So we got all that. We know what we need to do. So all of this is written, and it's basically what written back then and even now, because we know one thing about the Bible is it's the living word of God. So it don't change. It's steadily moving. as it back then, even to now. Nothing changes. So now we'll get to it. If these bones, what we just read, those 3 passages, if them bones held to these instructions, then we know they good. But then if not, we know it's gonna be bad. So, but one thing about Israel, we know because of the hardness of our hearts and pride, hey, Jehovah already knew what we were gonna do, and that's the part about it, because he tried our heart. So we gonna look at it. Let's go to Deuteronomy. We hit 31. And we'll take 15 down to 21. So it's a Deuteronomy 15, 31, 15 through 21. It say, and the Spirit of God appeared in the tabernacle in a pillar of a cloud, and the pillar of the cloud stood over the door of the tabernacle. And the Spirit of God said unto Moses, behold, remember, thou shalt sleep with thy fathers, and this people will rise up and go a whoring after the gods of the strangers of the land, whither they go to be among them, and will forsake me, and break my covenant which I have made with them. Then my anger shall be kindled against them in that day, and I will forsake them, and I will hide my face from them, and they shall be devoured, and many evils and troubles shall befall them, so that they will say in that day, are not these evils come upon us, because our God is not among us? And I will surely, let me highlight that, go down to 21. And I will surely hide my face in that day for all the evils which they shall have wrought, in that they are turned unto other gods. Now, therefore, write ye this song for you, and teach it to the children of Israel. Put it in their mouths, that this song may be a witness for me against the children of Israel. For when I shall have brought them into the land which I swear unto their fathers, that floweth with milk and honey, and they shall have eaten and filled themselves, and waxen fat, then will they turn unto other gods, and serve them, and provoke me, and break my covenant. And it shall come to pass, when many evils and troubles are befallen them, that this song shall testify against them as a witness, for it shall not be forgotten out of the mouths of their seed. For I know their imaginations, which they go about, even now, before I have brought them into the land which I swear. So, I'm almost at a loss for word, but I guess all I can say, yeah, we turn from our God, becoming dry by, worshiping really anything under the sun. So we have forsaken our God, and yeah, let's keep rolling. We're gonna go to Isaiah. We'll do 5. Isaiah 5, and then we'll do 4 through 9. It's this is what he's saying. What could have been done more to my vineyard, that I have not done in it? Wherefore, when I looked that it should bring forth grapes, brought it forth wild grapes? Yes. And now go to, I will tell you what I will do to my vineyard. I will take away the hedge thereof, and it shall be eaten up, and break down. Let me highlight that. Go down to 9. Break down the wall thereof, and it shall be trodden down, and I will lay it waste. It shall not be pruned nor digged, but there shall come up briars and thorns. I will also command the clouds that they rain no rain upon it. So no knowledge. For the vineyard of the Spirit of God of hosts is the house of Israel, and the men of Judah his pleasant plant. And he looked for judgment, doctrines and teaching, but behold, oppression. For righteousness, but behold, a cry. Woe unto them that join house to house, that lay field to field, till there be no place, that they may be placed alone in the midst of the earth. In my ear said the Spirit of God of hosts, of a truth many houses shall be desolate, even great and fair without inhabitants. So we can see that this vineyard has forsaken JEHOVAH, and we now we know the protection is removed. So we gonna ain't no other way to say it, but we're gonna have to catch some hell for that. So how did this actually happen? And we know that it's still happening right now. So let's look at that. Let's go to Isaiah. We'll go back over here. 57. We'll do 3 through 5. It said, but draw near hither, ye sons of the sorcerers, the seed of the adulterer and the whore. Against whom do you sport yourselves? Against whom make ye a wide mouth and draw out the tongue? Are ye not children of transgression, a seed of falsehood, inflaming yourselves with idols under every green tree, slaying the children in the valleys, in the worship places, under the cliffs of the rocks? So we see, we actually just be worshiping with anybody. If a person we'll just say, they said like he appear, he looks righteousness, but how can you look righteousness? So just because he got on a suit, got the Bible in his hand, briefcases, that's not the mark of showing that somebody righteous. But we fall for that stuff, debonair, clean cut, smooth talker. Hey, sound like the traits of Satan. So, and the killing part about it, we feed our kids this same stuff, and it's just a cycle that we constantly go through. So let's look at let's go to Job right quick. Job, and we'll do 21. If I can get it. Okay. All right, we'll show what all goes on in there. Here we go. Job 21. It say, they send forth their little ones like a flock, and their children dance. Tell me this don't go on in there. They take the timbrel and the harp and rejoice at the sound of the organ. They spend their days in wealth, and in a moment go down to the grave. So it's almost like, we give our kids over to Moloch. And, the preacher, like you say, they look at it's like a family business to them. It's a generational wealth thing. So this is actually a real picture. What goes on in there. So while we on that, let's look at things that we do worship in there. We'll go to Wisdom of Solomon right quick. We'll do 14, 15. It say, Wisdom of Solomon 14, we'll do 15 down to 21 and say, for a father afflicted with an untimely mourning, when he have made an image of his child soon taken away, now honored him as a god, which was then a dead man, and delivered to those that were under him ceremonies and sacrifices. Thus, in the process of time, an ungodly custom grown strong was kept as a law, and graven images were worshipped by the commandments of kings, whom men could not honor in the presence, because they dwelt far off. They took the counterfeit of his visage from far and made an express image of a king whom they honored, to the end that by this their frowardness they might flatter him that was absent, as if he was present. Also, the singular diligence of the artificer did help to set forward the ignorant to more superstition. For he, peradventure, willing to please one in authority, forced all his skills to make the resemblance of the best fashion. You're going to go to 21. And so the multitude, allured by the grace of the work, took him now for a god, which a little before was but honored. And this was an occasion to deceive the world, for men serving either calamity or tyranny did ascribe unto stones and stocks the incommunicable name, or the incommunicable way. So just looking at that, this here shouldn't be too hard to figure out for most of us, right? And most of us, when we grew up with our parents or staying at our granny house, or they would have Bibles with these certain images in them. A lot of us, even listening, got tattoos of it, like I said, on our body. Back at our granny house, like I said, they'll have pictures on the wall. You might just be walking down the hall, and this man on this picture, it's like he just watching you till you get down the hall. So that was some crazy stuff. So I always remember JEHOVAH didn't look nothing like what was portrayed. And even if people did know exactly what he looked like, still, you don't supposed to have no images of something that you worship. So one thing about it, can't no man transform into a god. So what we need to do is worship God, period. So always keep that in mind. So let's hit Matthew. And we'll do 23. We'll do 27. It's a woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye are like unto whited sepulchres, which indeed appear beautiful outward, but are within full of dead men's bones and of all uncleanness. So these the same preachers that's in them buildings that's teaching all these falsities, and all they doing is really just helping to build the kingdom of Satan, which is in them buildings, because we already know that we don't supposed to be in them. But what keeps us in those is pride, like I say, not wanting to be wrong when you can physically see the scripture, but you would rather hold to the lie just so you can say, well, if I do switch, then he gonna probably talk about me, or he'll have the ups on me. And that's crazy. Your life is on the line, so keep that in mind. Let's go to Ezekiel. Let's get on them buildings for a quick second. We'll do Ezekiel. $16. We'll do 20. It say, moreover, thou hast taken thy sons and thy daughters, whom thou hast borne unto me, and these hast thou sacrificed unto them to be devoured. Is this of thy whoredoms a small matter? Nope. Thou hast slain my children, and delivered them to cause them to pass through the fire for them. And in all thine abominations and thy whoredoms, let me go down to 25. Thou hast not remembered the days of thy youth, when thou wast naked and bare, and wast polluted in thy blood, in thy lifestyle. And it came to pass after all thy wickedness, woe, woe unto thee, said the Creator. And here we go. That thou hast also built unto thee an eminent place, and have made thee a high place in every street. Thou hast built thy high place at every head of the way, and hast made thy beauty to be abhorred, and hast opened thy feet their desires to everyone that passed by, and multiplied thy whoredoms. So one thing we know for a fact, that it's almost like liquor stores. You know, you got church buildings on every corner. It's almost like if it's that many church buildings, you know that it's about money. Ain't nobody just building churches and trying to make them look like mansions just to say God is there, which we know that's false. But like I said, pride is the main reason that, we stay in this dryness. You know what I mean? You get some that say, well, I've been worshiping this way for 40 years and that ain't happened to me this far. So you just keep holding to that. You know what I mean? And, you got to pay for it, especially when you know what's right. And so, and we'll matter of fact, we'll pull that for Hebrews to show, just in case we got someone new. We'll hit Hebrews 9 to show that we don't even supposed to be in the old places. We'll hit Hebrews 9 and we'll do verse 24. It says, for Christ is not entered into the holy places made with hands, which are the figures of the true, but into heaven itself, now to appear in the presence of God for us. So if we know Christ ain't in there, and you decide to keep going in there because of your pride, then that's what you blinded. You truly are blinded. So, and like I say, it's that pride that basically got us all messed up. So I always remember this though, while we on pride. Let's hit that right quick. What is it? Proverbs. So if we can clear out that pride, then we can start to be able to see. Let's keep that. So we'll hit 18. It's a pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. So we see pride goes before destruction. So he gonna humble you. Basically, it can be in that same building that you frequent every Sunday. So always keep that can't no man. Well, you'll get them to say that I would just say don't trust no one that tell you that God is in the building. So you can see that in Jeremiah. Let's pull that right quick so we can have them basically side by side. Jeremiah 7. And we'll do 4. There it is. It say, trust ye not in lying words, saying, the temple of the Spirit of God, the temple of the Spirit of God, the temple of the Spirit of God are these, because they are not buildings. What are the temple of God's? we can hit that. We go to it a lot, so we might well hit it right quick. So we'll go 1 Corinthians. Where does he dwell? 1 Corinthians. We'll do 3:16. 1 Corinthians 3:16, it says, "Know ye not that ye are," we'll take it to 17, "the temple of God, and that the Spirit of God dwelleth in you? If any man defile the temple of God, him shall God destroy. For the temple of God is holy, which temple ye are." So we see right there, you are the temple. So if you try to take your temple into a false temple or a building, then the Most High God, he ain't dwelling with you, because he already said he don't dwell there, and you can't kidnap God. So keep that in mind. And we'll pull another one basically on these buildings. Let's hit Matthew just to show what's actually going to happen to them buildings. Let's hit Matthew right quick. And we'll do 24. I find this one here pretty good scripture. So it say, "And Jesus went out and departed from the temple." So he departed, going into them buildings to go get people out of them buildings. "And Jesus went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him for to show him the buildings of the temple. And Jesus, or JEHOVAH, said unto them, See ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down." So we see whatever beliefs in those temples, even the building they sell, all of this is what keeps Israel in bondage, famished. They're gonna all be taken away, because the truth of JEHOVAH gonna always stand. So let's go to Isaiah right quick. We'll hit Isaiah. And we'll do 59 and 2. I always keep this in mind, everybody. It say, "But your iniquities have separated between you and your God, and your sins have hid his face from you, that he will not hear." So we can see that our iniquities have separated us from JEHOVAH. So how can we expect knowledge from heaven? So that's the reason that we will continue to remain dry. And the more you, without the knowledge of God, you become famished, no knowledge. Now you're just searching for any kind of knowledge you can get. Let's go to 2 Kings. And we'll do 22 and 17. It say, "Because they have forsaken me, and have burned incense unto other gods, that they might provoke me to anger with all the works of their hands. Therefore, for that reason, my wrath shall be kindled against this place, and shall not be quenched." So we decided, like I said, to start worshiping these vain idols, men, women. We put them all on pedestals, and at the same time, we just forsaken our God. And like I said, in the process, we doing all of this makes us dry, and it's really no excuses to, you know what I mean, we can because the truth has actually came to all of us, but we just still try to, hold to the lie. And as I said earlier, it's the pride thing. We'll hit second address right quick. Second address, okay. And we'll do 7, and we'll do 21. Always keep this in mind, because we all know, but we just shut the ear. It say, for God have given. Ooh, I got too much. Let me highlight some of that. Go back. They say, for God has given straight commandment to such as Cain, what they should do to live, even as they came, and what they should observe to avoid punishment. So we know what it is that we need to be doing. Let's go to let's see, Isaiah. We're about to get ready to close it down. We'll go to Isaiah, and we'll hit 50. Isaiah 50. And we'll do verse 2. So, like I said, it's definitely no excuse. It say, wherefore, when I came, was there no man? When I called, was there none to answer? Is my hand shortened at all, that it cannot redeem? Or have I no power to deliver? Behold, remember, at my rebuke, I dry up the sea. I make the rivers a wilderness. Their fish stinketh, because there is no knowledge, and they die for thirst. So this is showing that we are famished. So this is the reason for the dry bones. We famished, no knowledge. We want to do our own thing, full of pride, full of basically everything of this world. So we have to remember that. So we'll go back and look at these 2 verses again, and I'll read them in another way, so to kind of get an idea. It say, and I read them more just replacing the words to show you how it's moving. It say, the power of the Spirit of God was dwelling in me, and led me out in the Spirit of God, and placed or put me in a certain place among many of the places of worship where the lowly dwell, which were full of we'll say a kinsman, or a once great nation. And it caused, and when it called, it had me to see the reason why, to pass by them. And I examined, and remember, they became exposed to falsities in the places of worship. And lo, they were very famished, having no knowledge of JEHOVAH. So when you put these 2 verses together, it's basically saying that. So when we look at these 2 verses and the vision from Ezekiel, it shows the place where we came as a people. And we'll just put it like this. What we've collected, we'll just say through the evidence and all that, it actually just showing that it wasn't a crime committed against these people, but it was self-inflicted, which we can all deem as spiritual suicide. So now I'm gonna always say this: there are some bones that haven't had that message brought because the parents or something like that just keep, the little kids in there, and they don't get a chance to even. It's almost like it's force fed to them, so they don't get that true message to actually pierce their heart. So we just need to be able to let them know the things that they worshiping is contrary to JEHOVAH himself. So with the findings that we have here today, the case should just be closed from the evidence. But to be honest, that'll be a disservice also to those that who are still lost out there. So actually what we must do now is to see the parts that we can play in it, to help bringing other, bones back to life, meaning into remembrance, getting them to see the truth, warning them to let them know that if they go to that valley, then they're going to be dry bones. So this teaching, that'll be it for this teaching, but we're going to keep pushing through. So I definitely appreciate everyone for coming out and going through this first lesson in the series with me. So we will basically just continue to do what we can do, and as we go down through this series, then we'll start to put together solutions on the tasks that should be able to help others on how do they get out of this condition. So I'd like to thank each and every one of you for joining me today. And until next time, I would like to say shalom.